there are many reasons why a company doesn't offer a job after the program finishes. So for some situations, it may just be about your tech skills, and maybe it's not where it needs to be for that specific role, or maybe it's not about your skills. Maybe it's about maybe they felt you weren't very interested in the work, or maybe that your professionalism skills, maybe you were late to work a couple times or missed meetings or phone calls. So we had situations where the company felt the intern wasn't present in what was going on. It felt like they were almost there to just collect the check for the summer. So an internship, you want to make that impression that you care about the work, care about the product that are going on, and the goals that your company that they have as well. It does go along. I know we've mentioned it a couple of times, but just meetings are the time when you can really show that you care about the work, asking questions and participating in those meetings. It doesn't really feel like you're there just to collect the check for the summer, but that you really want to be a part of the projects that are going on. So yeah, just being present in what's going on, and speaking with your colleagues about your work as well can leave a good lasting impression on you as someone that can possibly offer a job to.
It was really just agreeing with Edwin in terms of showing interest and asking questions. A lot of the feedback that I see is just, this person was really great, but they weren't showing much interest or asking the right questions. I think what's also really big that I don't know if, again, this is going to sound right, but being aware of your surroundings. A lot of the time, at least at our company, we work with different departments. And if you can't find a way to connect and work with other leaders in different departments, especially on like a really huge artist campaign, that is a red flag. And it could go as little as, I think someone mentioned before, just being in the office and saying good morning to whoever it is can go a really long way. So just, yeah, being aware of your surroundings, being, open to working with different teams and people. I'm sure working with everyone is not great or fun, but you just kind of have to find a way to make it work. Yeah, and definitely just showing interest, passion, asking questions.
I'll speak to my personal experience. From my personal experience, when I've been an intern, I've seen that companies are more willing to invest in my development when I show interest in wanting to grow in the company. So I might come in with missing some of the skills that are needed, but the company will invest in me getting upskilled to be able to fill in the role, as long as I'm showing that I'm interested, that I'm committed, that I'm willing to learn, that I'm willing to grow. If you come in with all the skills and everything you need for the job role, but you don't really show that much interest in the role, you're not really interested, as one of you said, this is just something you want to do for the summer, then it's more likely that there's no future that's seen in you to keep you in the company, because you're likely not going to even want to take the job offer anyways, or at least that's how you're going to be identified. That also goes hand in hand with being personable. There's always this like scary, like I'm an intern and there's a job and it's work, but everybody's just people. They're just human. So you show up, you say hello, you have casual conversations, you try to connect with different people at a personal level, and just kind of, you don't need to be friends with everybody, but have that personable attitude of like wanting that social attitude to want to meet everybody and talk to people and be involved. That definitely also goes a long way.
What we found here at BioBat is that all of our interns that have come to us have been very, very smart and very intelligent, and in many ways accomplished for a freshman, rising sophomore, etc. Sometimes the intern has to realize that it's not anything that they did or didn't do that would make the decision. Sometimes it's the budget of the company. Sometimes the company just can't afford to hire someone full-time. So don't forget that that's also a situation. But what I found is that of all the interns that I've worked with, it's the ones who have that know-it-all attitude, who are entitled, or who think that it's their agenda more than the company's agenda. And that is somewhat of a personality trait that you really can't change. There's lots of things that you can do as an employer to help interns along. And when we hire interns, we know that it's a give and take. Our job is to obviously lean on the intern for the work, but also to give the intern experiences that they can then take on to their next stage. So in my particular situation, if I don't hire an intern for full time, that is like a terrific knock it out of the park intern, then it's either because of a budget or it's because of that personality trait, which says that I'm more important than the project. And that's, you know, something you have to be careful of. That's a personality issue. You have to be willing during those hours that you're at the office, you have to know that the job comes first, not your own agenda.
First, in terms of at Aon, the vast majority of the college graduates we hire came from our prior summer internship program, right? So it is the stepping stone. It is the opportunity for somebody to demonstrate their skills, their attitude, their passion, et cetera, to get the job. So, you know, if you don't get it, that means you didn't demonstrate that, all the skills, all the attributes, all that persona that we've been talking about for the past 50 minutes. And then lastly, from a personal experience, why an intern doesn't get a job is if they fall asleep in a meeting with you when it's a 2-person meeting. So that happened to me. I was meeting with my intern at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and he literally fell asleep on me. Now, maybe I'm a boring person, but that really didn't give us confidence that we should offer him a full-time job. So please don't fall asleep.
So at SEO Career, we work with over 200 companies and helping, them with their interns. And we get a lot of feedback on why they don't get the offer. And one thing, we hear often is the interest is lacking, right? And so it's really important to know that even, as an intern, the point of an internship as a student is to get experience. Sometimes you don't know if it's necessarily what you want for your career, and that's okay, right? But you never want your employer to know that, right? You never want your employer to feel like you don't care or you're not interested in the work. So it's really important that even if halfway through the internship, I don't think this is going to be a place I would want a full-time offer or want to pursue full-time career with. Don't make sure that doesn't impact your reputation at the internship, right? Because at the end of the day, that company may prevent you, if they have a bad experience with you, they may prevent you from getting other opportunities. So it's really important to remember that even if you do feel like your interest in that particular job is not necessarily the right fit for you, still make sure that you are as motivated as you can be to complete the summer internship. So that is one thing we hear often. And then, the other thing I think, again, has to do with everything we've been talking about: personality, character, passion. EQ is a really big piece, right? So, oftentimes you're going to go intern at a company that hired really good interns, right? Like they put in so much work to make sure they were bringing the best of the best interns into their company. And so oftentimes, at the end of the summer internship, they don't have the capacity to hire everybody. And sometimes everybody performs just as good, but it's the moments that the managers remember and the team remembers about you, right? And what makes you unique, your ability to connect with the team, that's going to help you stand out, right? So I actually really recommend a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a pretty small book, and I think it's really easy read, and he provides about 7 commandments of how you can, things you can practice every day to really make sure that, you're maximizing your emotional intelligence, as how you work with others on a team.
Make sure to check out the My Career tab on the BC Navigator app, where you can track your career progress based on the amount of credits you've earned, stay updated on upcoming events from the Magner Center, and watch our videos for insight and advice on your career field.